All right, welcome to the Wednesday edition of the 220 Quarterback Club, the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club. As I always say, it's an honor to be before you. It's always an honor to be in front of Rattlers. For those at home that are watching us, we may look a little odd on your screen. We got a little different hookup. That being said, we're going to continue with the business of the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club. We've got an exciting week coming up. We come back to brag, and we play Mississippi Valley State. Coach Cozy will be here momentarily. We'll talk to him about last week and how we're preparing for next week. And of course, coming up next week, the Florida Blue Florida Classic. We need everybody in Orlando. We need everybody at the luncheon. We need everybody at the Battle of the Bands. And we certainly need everybody at the game. That game is more than just a rivalry with Bethune. It's a big part of our athletics budget. And we want to make sure we get as many eyes inside of that stadium as we can. So I hope you have plans to go to the Florida Blue Florida Classic. There is a bus that is leaving Tallahassee, going to the game and coming back. For those who don't want to stay overnight, there's pretty much not a good reason not for everyone to go to the Florida Blue Florida Classic. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up Executive Director of the Rattler Boosters, Mr. Selvin Cobb.
Good afternoon, everybody. As you know, we have 4 sports that we are competing in at this time. And we're going to start off with volleyball. If you didn't get a chance to watch the Cat Eye production, that was last Friday night. It was Bethune was, FAMU were playing Bethune. We kind of shook up a little bit, got shaken up a little bit, I would say, because they actually won the first match. And so that was first set. I always said match, the first set. And that was a little different for us, because normally we've been beating people 3-0 and those kinds of things. But that was a ill-forgotten game, I guess you would say, because we came back and swept them for the other 3 matches. But it was a very, very good game. For that, we were able to maintain our first place in volleyball. We are at 17-0, and we will be playing on next week, or starting Friday. We will be playing Jackson State, and then on Sunday we're going to play Mississippi Valley. And that's going to be at 1 o'clock. So Friday game at 6 o'clock, and 1 o'clock is the Sunday's game. Again, we were honored to have 2 outstanding players. Miss Yvonne Sanford, she was the offensive player for the SWAC honors for the week. Sanford led the Rattlers in offense with 15 kills and 10 kills against Alabama State. And also she recorded 8 digs and 2 assists. We also had a Taylor McKenzie. She's the newcomer of the week. And she had 24 against ASU and 10 against Alabama A&M. Again, I told you earlier about our next matches. On women's basketball, we lost a tough one against Florida State University, 54-93. Our next game is November the 18th, and that's going to be in Jacksonville. So what you want to do is take out 10 and go to Jacksonville and enjoy that game. And then once you finish that game, don't worry about coming back home. Just go on down to Gainesville, and then we got the men's be playing down in Gainesville. So that's our men's and women's game. And we also have bowling. We compete. Bowling is the last one that we're competing in. And last week we were in Hornet Classic. That was over in Montgomery. And this week we're going to be playing November the 18th, starting at the Colonial Lanes Classic, and that's going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. So we won't ask you to go that far yet, but we'll. But as Vaughn was talking about last week, we had a very spirited Rattler Booster meeting last night. And when you love the Rattlers, you love them, okay? And it all comes out. It all comes out. But I want everyone to know that the Rattler Booster meeting is open to everybody who's a Rattler Booster, okay? And you're more than welcome to come. Matter of fact, at the first of the meeting, we start out with public comments. So everybody is welcome to come. So don't feel like you need to shy away from it. We have that meeting the first, no, it's not. It's the second Tuesday of each month. So anytime on the second Tuesday of each month, mark that off. Starts at 7 o'clock. Right now we're doing Zoom, but once when the weather breaks and we can start back meeting live, we will have meeting live again. So again, that's the second Tuesday of each month. Again, I want to congratulate the boosters because we were able to do 7 tables for the Florida Classic Luncheon. And we have 2 buses that's going as well. So again, we want to congratulate everybody for coming out on this coming Saturday. You're going to get some further details about what's going to be happening on Saturday. But then after Saturday, we're going to go down and tackle the Thune Cookwood Wildcats. Okay, well, thanks everybody.
All right, thanks, Brother Carl. Just a schedule note. We will meet next week, but the following week, the day before Thanksgiving, we will not meet because you all wouldn't come anyway. So, no use in preparing for you. You're not gonna come. Unless we got smoked turkey and dressing, yeah. So we will meet next week to get prepared for the Florida Classic, but the week after we will be off. And then we'll come back after the Alabama A&M game. And we'll detail the schedule for the rest of the year. I want to say fundraising is going good, but we need it to be great. It's going good, it's consistent, but we need it to be great. I want to challenge everyone here, everyone online, everyone in the sound of my voice to please continue to push people to make those donations. We have to raise this money. We don't have an option. We have to raise this money so that our athletic department can be on par with the other teams in our conference. But more than that, we want to provide for our student athletes. Student athletes make a great sacrifice. I mean, some of our student athletes get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. No, they get up at 5:30, or practice at 6, or either weightlifting. Their class schedule starts at 8 or 9. Then they may have practice at 3 o'clock. They may have a break to go to more classes, and they may have a team meeting that evening. That's what a student athlete's life is like. It's not just playing games. They do way more before the season and preparing for the season and in season that we forget about. And those are the things that we have to continue to support. When we support their off season and their preparation, we'll be happy with what we see on Saturdays or whatever day they're playing. I went to the basketball game the other night. Played number what? 16 Florida State basketball team.
Number 19.
Number 19. They look like number 19. But I also saw from the last game to this game, from the Howard game to the Florida State game, I saw things improving. I didn't see the same mistakes. Got a great coaching staff, and if we didn't know, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let Angela. I'm sure she's gonna mention that. But anyway, it was an honor, and I think we should continue to play Florida State women, especially in basketball. It's an easy ride. It was a good crowd. It was a great atmosphere. So we're hoping that continues. Make these hugs. As far as the Florida Classic, I think that the luncheon is close to selling out, or it may be sold out. It's very, very close. It's already sold out. If you've never been to the Blue Florida Classic luncheon, it's some of the most fun you have. To be directly in the room with Wildcats. Directly in the room, they can't run. And get the players and the coaches set for the game. Before I go any further, we had an election November 5th. And a very good friend of the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, he doesn't just come when it's election season.
All right.
And Mr. Jackson was big about promoting people who didn't just come when it was election season, that supported us. And I'd like to congratulate our Mayor Pro Tem and re-elected Curtis Richardson. Congratulations, sir. A little fun fact about Curtis Richardson that you all may not know. He has 2 daughters in the Naval Academy, and one of them is now a pilot. Boy, that's amazing. That's amazing. You've done a great job, sir, and continue to serve this community, and we appreciate you supporting us.
Thank you. Couldn't have done it without you. Ron was a valuable member of my team.
You can't tell. You can't tell like that.
Oh, okay.
No, our business was proud to be on the campaign team for Curtis Richardson. And it's because of the reason we get offered a lot, but we carefully choose people, real people that we believe in. We don't just go and take dollars. And so we'd also like to congratulate another person that always supports us. And she was reelected to the county commission, and that's Carolyn Cummings, reelected to the county commission. It's very important when we go back to the CRA to get that money for the bathrooms that we have people that support the Rattlers in those positions. I'll hear about that later. But anyway, once again, we will meet next week leading into the Florida Classic. The day before Thanksgiving, we will not meet. The Wednesday after the Alabama A&M game, we will meet again. And next week, we'll give you the rest of the schedule for the rest of the year. Dr. Jackson, you have some announcements? Oh, there's a card on the table for Reverend Ross. It is on the back over here. We want everyone in the club to sign it so we can get it to him. You know, he's a dedicated member. He's always here. And he's a little under the weather now, so we have a card that we want to sign. And also remember to nominate the outstanding 220 Quarterback Club member. That is also on the table. I'm gonna say it again. Make sure you see Real Words Apparel with those beautiful shirts in the back, including the one the team will be warming up in tomorrow, Saturday. And without further ado, I'd like to bring up the Vice President and Director of Athletics of Florida A&M University, Angela Suggs.
Thank you, Vaughn.
All righty, we bring the house down already. With that, thank you, Rattlers, for your support. Thank you for those of you online and those of you that are in the room that may have traveled with us out to Texas last weekend. We're back at home this weekend, and we are sending everyone that comes from Mississippi back to Mississippi with a loss. As mentioned by Selvin Cobb, we have Jackson State in volleyball on Friday at 6. We have Mississippi Valley in football on Saturday at 1. Gates will open at 11. So gates will open at 11. Gates will open at 11. So between 11, I know that's in the morning. It'll be nice and cool. Between 11 and about 12:15, that's your sweet spot. Now that's your time to come on in and mosey onto your seats and have a good time. Now, between 12:15 and 1 o'clock, definitely between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, we're going to do what we can for everyone that wants to come at the same time. 11 o'clock, I'm telling you, right around 11:30, that's your sweet spot. 11:30 to 12:15, that's going to be a steady flow. 12:15, 12:30, So we need to get you on in. Yes, sir.
What time will the parking lot open up?
Parking lot will open up 5. It'll be open at 8 a.m. You can come on in.
You can come in at 8 o'clock?
You can come in at 8, yes.
All right.
It's a 1 o'clock game, and so just come on in. That's 5 hours before. We can't quite do 7, right? That's usually 6 hours before, but 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Yeah. Yes, Ms. Walker. Dr. Walker.
That early, which is fine, but what was going on with the schedule at 1?
I'm not sure. That was before my time. Yes, the color is black for Saturday, but orange, green, black, white, just come on out. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Norwood.
Extra security because there was shooting at the Albany homecoming and also at Tuskegee, but all was safe at Fairview. Want to compliment you.
The team definitely, Chief Alexander and all that work with public safety, our Tallahassee Police Department chief was on the radio this morning speaking about the commitment to safety and security for all Florida A&M events and all Florida State events, CCC, TSC events that are happening within the community. Want to commend you all as well, online and here in the room. We had a lot of people on the footprint. Thank you for that compliment, but it really was a team approach. Everyone within the university came together, and you will hear a lot from me as we move forward that for all of our events, cleanliness and safetyness has to be priority. We can't skip on it. We can't cut on it. We can't do anything with that. We've got to be committed to being safe and being clean. And with that, that is something, and then everything else, right, can come on top of that. But our meal has to be safety and cleanliness, and everything else is gravy. Right. And so with that, we will keep that top of mind. Thank you so much for that comment. But it truly is a testament to the commitment from Chief Alexander, who heads up all of those efforts for us, and the community partners from Leon County Sheriff, Tallahassee Police Department, and others. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, let's go on to back to basketball for a second. I know you can't speak for them, but do you think that Florida State is open, possibly open, to possibly doing a multi-year home and home contract for women's basketball?
We can take a look at it. We have some relationships there, which is how that game came to be. Actually, one of our volunteer assistant coaches is actually the husband of the head coach in the women's basketball team.
Yeah, they said that on TV.
So yes, we are a family. we can take a look at that.
And it was a great vibe at the game between everyone there, so,
It used to be.
like it used to be.
Before I go, and we're coming to you, Mr. Hankerson, before I go, I will not be before you next week. We'll already be in Orlando, headed that way. But of course, we have a game, our makeup game, game number two. Game number two is on November 29th against Alabama A&M. It will be at 4 p.m. I'm saying game number two because any of your credentials or resources that say game number two, that's what we want you to pull out. Your parking pass, your everything for that. While I'm speaking about parking, for those of you that are in the parking garage and you were not able, or for those of you that are in Bragg, my apologies, you have a Bragg parking hang decal. And for the first couple of games, you came through the parking garage to get into the Bragg lot. Let me speak on that. You will not be able to do that.
Thank you.
You will have to go to Bob Hayes Lane or go to Okaloosa Street to enter the Bragg parking lot. And so if you're headed south on Althea Gibson Way, for those of you who haven't been here in a minute, formerly Wanish Way, you will need to pass the parking garage to go to Bob Hayes Lane or around the corner to the service road on Okaloosa to enter Bragg. Here's the reason why. Once you come in, we've had people to come in with a parking garage hang tag and just keep going down into the Bragg lot. And so we won't have personnel, and we don't want to create a bottleneck, because if we have you to show on Althea Gibson Way at the parking garage with your Bragg tag, then you're going to have to stop again at the top of the hill to connect, and we would create a bottleneck there in that lane. So we apologize for the inconvenience, but I wanted to share with you why we made that change. Again, Bragg lot entry will come from Althea Gibson Way to Bob Hayes Lane, if you're headed south. And then also, even if you're headed north, don't continue up to the parking garage. Come on in on Bob Hayes. Actually, they're probably going to drop you off down on Okaloosa. Mr. Henderson, we're coming to you, Mr. Johnson. You on there?
When will the packet be ready for Orlando? The Battle of the Band tickets, the tickets for the luncheon and all that. When will that packet be ready?
Certainly, we hope to have the remaining resources. Game tickets should already be in your accounts.
I got it, Dave.
The remaining assets, we just had an operations meeting this morning. We will have them packaged for the game this weekend. And so they can be picked up from the ticket office on Saturday, or we can make arrangements to get those assets to you. Absolutely.
If we come in from Game Street area and turn on Eugenia and come across, that's still available, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
With the appropriate credentials, and we know you have it. We're saying that for everyone else.
Okay, we got time for one more, Reverend Wilson.
We can't exit though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can't exit. after-
No. You won't be able to exit through the park. We'll work on that.
I mean, after the game.
After the game, we're gonna open it up so that you can get out. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
The entrance over by Pokemon.
Which one? Is
Perry Street.
Harry?
There's a gate there that always been open.
Are you talking about a pedestrian gate or a vehicular gate?
If you, on Perry Street.
Yes, sir.
The students' parking lot,
Right.
that's how they.
The RV lot.
Right, the RV lot. I've always gone with.
Let me take a look at it, because I don't know. So let me say that. I know that we did not allow vehicles that were not with the RVs to come through that lot. And so if you had a Bragg hang tag, you could not come through that lot because we were just so congested. Well, not congested. We were so successful with the number of RVs that we had in there. So with the RV hang tags, those were the only hang tags that we allowed in the RV to come through there for homecoming.
That's the way I can.
Understand? Again, I do not know. And so what we will do is get that information for you. And, Markel, do you know? Okay.
The board.
You will be able to come down. Are you talking about going directly into the Poke Horn line?
You go in from Perry Street.
Right, into Bragg.
Where it's not the top of Harry's house, they on the.
Yes. Yes.
And the first step takes you into the street parking lot, and you go through there.
That's
and
the
get back.
I don't think you'll have a problem with that this weekend. Right.
You gotta go from the policeman on,
Perry Street.
Okay.
and then another.
You won't have a problem with that this weekend. This weekend, you won't have a problem with that. We will speak with them and we will make sure that that is available to you.
That's the best way.
That's the main gate. That's the main gate. So don't you got a brand there?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All righty. Any other questions? All righty. Thank you, Rattlers. We'll see you this coming Saturday, 11 a.m. Gates open. We'll see you Friday in the Lawson Center for Jackson State for volleyball. Go Rattlers.
Thank you. Ladies, now we have circulating one of the new products from the Fang Exchange NIL. And we want to be respectful. I think table one was trying to open it, but please do not open it. I don't want Reverend Bernie calling me. Keep it closed. Keep it closed. Keep the top on it. And don't have too much of that Friday night or you're not going to make it 11 o'clock for kickoff. But we're going to send out the email to everyone who's on our email list. Social House has partnered with Fang Exchange for a nice beverage that is for sale. And the good thing about it, money goes back into the pot for our student athletes for the NIL, which we have to catch up on. We absolutely have to catch up on. So we appreciate the efforts of the Fang Exchange to try to get us going there, but we're passing around. Leroy, don't open it up in here, man. Have to be careful. All right.
Leroy got a joke he wanted to.
Leroy, you got a joke for us? Yeah. Okay. We're gonna bring it up. Okay.
Yeah. Well, good afternoon. Anyway, it was two buddies. They was going hunting. You're gonna hear this one. And these brothers was named Wilbur and Tommy. And after they got out there, a big bear showed up. Wilbur hollered at Tommy, "Run, Tommy, run!" He said, "Yeah, Wilbur, that's all right, run." He said, "Run, you gotta run, we gotta run, man, that's a big bear." As they were running, Wilbur said, "Tommy, we cannot outrun that bear. We just can't outrun that bear." And as Tommy got down the road, he thought about it. He said, "No, Wilbur, I just want to outrun you."
All right. Before I bring up Coach Colsey, we're going to announce these checks that we have in today. Starting off with $1,000 from Piggly Wiggly.
All right.
Nehemiah Chambers is so diligent with his. Another 100. You should be real close to your brand, Mr. Chambers. Thank you very much. Jimmy Hayes Demps, $250. Barbara Burns, $200. Harry Demps and Devin Demps, another $100. I love these $100 because we try to emphasize to people, you don't have to pay it all at one time. Get in the game. Pay it along. Don't spend it all during Christmas. Willie Curtis Larkins, another $100. And Gary Goodwin, another $100. So we thank everyone for their donations. We will get these in the FAMU Foundation as soon as possible. This past week, we were not victorious. We're rattlers, we don't like it. But also we're rattlers and we are respected. And we're rattlers and we gonna strike back. That's one thing we do, we strike back. That means Mississippi Valley? Mississippi Valley got to pay. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up the head coach of the Florida A&M University Rattlers, Coach James Colsey III.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing? Win, lose, or draw, head's got to maintain high. So, obviously, people that saw the game, that were at the game, we started with some people that we may not have been able to end with. But, obviously this week, this week was actually, I don't know if our amazing AD mentioned, but this was actually supposed to be senior week for us. But Hurricane Helene, obviously they made us postpone the game. So the reason why the game was at 1:00, when we were started talking about having this game for senior day, we wanted to allow the guys to be able to be with their parents after the game. So that's why it's at 1:00. But now can't change it. We're going to be on HBCU Go, and then our senior day game will now be the Alabama A&M game. So just want to give you a little bit of heads up on what it was and whatever the case may be. So I appreciate everyone's text. I get more text, when we don't necessarily play as well as we're supposed to. But but I appreciate them. I appreciate them all. I know that people that saw the game on Saturday. We had some guys go down that are incredibly important to what we try to do on offense and defensive sides of the football. But we also strive on making sure our depth is where it needs to be. And we did not do that. Got close a couple times, made some plays, to put us in a good spot. But whether it was a turnover or maybe a bad decision on myself, one of the coaches, or one of the players, that didn't get us to where we needed to be. So again, I'm got a little more time today. Nobody has to rush to get out of here. I am obviously open to any questions that may be asked, just like I'm open when we win. So I'm here now. Might need to give me that ball. We can have that. I am here to again win, lose, or draw, as such, and I'm here to do that again. And as we mentioned, somebody does have to pay, and I think it's important. I've made reference to this throughout my talks, to the media over the last couple of days. And I don't know if they're listening or not, but I just want to send our heartfelt prayers to Mississippi Valley State. They're going through a really, really tough time with the loss of one of their players. And as a head coach, trust me, as a head coach, that's the phone call that you don't want to ever have to take. So, I do know sometimes other teams and other coaches kind of chime in to our things. I want to just make sure that they do understand that. Heartfelt prayers from us. But once that whistle blows, we'll be ready to go. But what do you have first?
Online, what we have first is like 30 questions online, but I'll start with one. What are we doing to improve quarterback play? You struggle bad.
Well, I mean, we lost our starting quarterback, right? The second drive of the game. He's going for 2,000 yards. He's got 19 touchdowns. He was leading the SWAC in a lot of categories. He went down with an injury and was not able to play. I guess that's why you have a first teamer and the second teamer. What I will say is that I thought throughout the game, we had a game plan set for our starting quarterback. I wish we would have made some better adjustments in the second half based on who we had back there. So that was something that we spoke about as a staff. I thought we did a good job of. We ran the ball a little bit better in the third quarter, but then once you get behind maybe a touchdown or two, you start forcing some throws. But Daniel Richardson's back there. You guys see it. He's one of the best, and not just in the conference, but in the country. Once he went down, we had to go to Plan B and sometimes Plan C. But Daniel has not. He had to practice. He didn't practice Sunday. Didn't practice yesterday. He did throw the ball around a little bit today. So we'll take it day by day. With the concussions, you have to make sure you take that as serious and as serious as you can. But he was in a blue jersey this afternoon. So I think that when you can improve the quarterback play, and I'll go to the question, is do what he does best, right? Make sure you're aligning your game plan to what that individual quarterback can do. Obviously, if you've seen our quarterbacks, Daniel Richardson's game plan it would be a hell of a lot different than it would be for the guy who finished the game. But right, our game plan wasn't for Junior. It was for Daniel, and I just thought we could have done a little bit better overall, doing what he can do best, and ultimately we did not.
All right, one more question from online. Please ask this. Coach, help fans, alumni understand the psychological aspect of a team that loves to trash talk and dance, but is one game above 500 and 1-4 on the road.
Say that one more time.
Help fans and alumni understand the psychological aspect of a team that loves to trash talk and dance, but is one game above 500.
Well, we've got to be better. It was the same team that, similar to the same team we've had over the last couple of years. It's great to celebrate when you're having success. I'm a person after the game. We lost, and my training, we always went to the locker room. But if you're gonna dish it out, sometimes you gotta be able to take it. But right, wrong, or indifferent, those are some things that as we move forward and move forward through this process with this football team, that those are things that definitely need to improve, and that note is definitely taken.
Coach, I saw in one incident after the game, about 6 guys was on one of our players beating on it. Did we get anybody hurt from that? Because the way they were beating on him, I just assumed that he would have gotten hurt. What's our situation in terms of injuries?
Well, the injuries that we had were not in regards to the situation that happened after the game. That's a great question, but none of those injuries had anything to do other than pride. But other than that, that was none of the injuries that we had anything to do with the situation after the game.
Get mine out early.
Yes, ma'am.
And Coach.
Yes, ma'am.
I love you, Coach.
I don't. You brought me food. I'm afraid to eat it, but you brought me food.
She wrapped it up for me. She didn't want me passing out in here.
I'm surprised. I had a church function I had to take care of on Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I did not get a chance to watch the games. I'm glad I didn't in a way because I probably would have been in the emergency room right now. But I want you to know, win, lose, or draw, I'm with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
One way or the other.
I appreciate it.
And then I say, but. Bragg Stadium Saturday, right?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
What about number 9? He went down an injury.
Kelvin Dean, and I will understand. I'm not trying to avoid injuries. I just can't, a lot of HIPAA and a bunch of other things. He went down, did not return. In the game of football, when a guy doesn't return, especially as early as he went down, it was something serious. But I can't tell you, he did practice today, which is a plus for us. And a lot of people, you get a guy like him, when he goes down, it's more than just his play, right? He's one of our leaders of our football team. And he's down. You got guys worried about him. Obviously people that were at the game, that maybe saw the game or were at the game. When Daniel Richardson went down, he went to the tent. We had guys in the tent, concerned about him. So, you just don't lose the play. You just don't use the play of sometimes of guys. That's what a lot of people look at, right? But, there's a lot of other things that Kelvin Dean provides for us that's not just on the football field. He did practice this week. I can't necessarily explain or tell you why he went down. So.
Okay, Coach.
Okay. Well, I will say this. I do know we got a couple streaks that we got to make sure we take care of. Obviously, the second longest winning streak at Bragg. That's important to the guys. Obviously making sure that we finish as strong as we can. That's important to the guys. A lot of people had us as far as where they thought they were going to project us, right? We got 3 solid games that we need to win at the end of the year. I will say, got to make sure we take care of Mississippi Valley and then get ready for, the following week and then obviously senior day. But, we are, you got a disappointed bunch. You got a disappointed staff, starting with myself, but we have taken upon ourselves to make sure that we're ready to play on Saturday. And that's the most important thing. And obviously not happy with the loss, but, sometimes when you lose, you wish you could play the next day. And that's the approach that our guys have taken. Our leaders that have been here for 4 or 5 years, and that have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in what they're trying to do. The biggest thing that they said to me when I met with them on Sunday was they want to make sure that they finish strong. So that's the plan. That's how we want to make sure we do it. I know we're a little down. Not just us, this the entire Rattler Nation. Trust me, I am as well. But we want to make sure we finish strong, and that starts with Saturday afternoon. So thank you very, very much for everything, and me and you will be good next week, I promise. Okay? Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Oh, I'm sorry, we do have some.
That's okay. I'm asking in regards to the team members who were over there on Prairie View side after the game was over with, and per se really fighting the band members.
Coach, I got that. Okay. So that's not what happened. It's not what happened at all. There was some taunting, which is what happens with, in games, tight games. So there was taunting back and forth. Our band was seated, or not our band, the Prairie View band was seated next to our fan base and next to our locker room as well as the entrance. There was no fighting in the stands. Our student athletes did not go in the stands to fight anyone, nor did they fight anyone when they got in the stands. So that is not an accurate reflection.
Thank you, AD Suggs.
But is there a relationship between, this is for you now, between the $1 million campaign, players that we need out of the portal for basketball as well as football, the Fang Exchange? How does all of this work? You know, I have a little.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Okay, she asked, what was the relationship between the Fang Exchange, NIL, and I would say the Rattler Boosters and the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club? There are three separate entities, but since we're all Rattlers, we support the other entities. The Fang Exchange is a new dynamic, but in my mind, that has to be successful because we have to stop losing players for not multi-million dollars, measly dollars in the NIL, realm. So the Fang Exchange, that is their primary focus. The Rattler Boosters has been here forever. Their focus is generalized. They're the only official DSO for the university for athletics. So they have several initiatives that the Rattler Boosters do. Like nutrition, it gets kind of confusing, but there are actually a couple of elements to nutrition. There's the muscle milk that had the protein. They have to have that protein, otherwise when they work out, they'll deplete their bodies. So on the nutrition side, we do the food part. The Rattler Boosters do the muscle milk part, so they come together to form our nutrition program. So when it can get confusing, it really can get confusing. But what the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback $1 million campaign is a campaign to assist our nutrition efforts. It's on our letter, to help make sure that we have the family relays again, to make sure that we have the cooling chamber for the football team in the summer when it's hot, to support all student athlete scholarships. And I want to say this again. Initially, when we started the campaign, we were saying we're going to do this amount for men's and this amount for women. The only thing that's not for women is the cooling chamber, and like I said, they can go in there if they want to. But everything else we do, nutrition, that is open to all of our teams. When they decide who needs to go to summer school, that's for all of our teams. So by supporting this initiative for the $1 million campaign, we're supporting the whole of the athletic department. You seem like you still have.
I just want the coaches to be able to go and get who they need. I watch their games. I might not go to a game, but we buy whatever package it is I can see. And I know I saw some students on that Florida State team the other night who would love to be a Rattler instead of a Seminole.
Her question, I'm glad she didn't have a mic and we didn't say that in public. Her question was, she saw some other players on another team that she would not mind seeing in orange and green. Well, some of those players from said team have gravitated toward FAMU. We want to continue, and that is without NIL. That's because we have the #1 public HBCU 6 years running. That's because we're a top 80 university. That's because the culture at Florida A&M University is unmatched. So even without NIL, we still have FAMU. That's our NIL right now. It's the blood, sweat, and tears that have been put into our university. That's the biggest NIL we have right now. And also we have 5 players in the NFL right now. That's a beacon too, that you can get to the NFL through Florida A&M University. So we have a lot going for us. As they say, do not be dismayed by a loss. We still the Rattlers. Everybody in here is proudly wearing their orange and green. I'll make sure I don't like when we lose, but I make sure that next day I got on orange and green head and toe and dare somebody to say something. Even that year I had to do it 10 times. I still did.
The process, but now that's here, doesn't mean you can't give money directly to the family exchange.
Yes, the Fame Exchange, Ashley and her team, like I said, that beverage that we're passing around, they've partnered with that company, Social House. They didn't open it yet, did they, Colonel? Keep that away from Coach Colby, I don't want it. But they have the t-shirts. You can go to Krispy Kreme and make sure you specify to get a Dean dozen. Well, man went down. We need to all go buy some Dean dozens to show them we love it. You know, everybody go to Krispy Kreme in Tallahassee and tell them you want a Dean dozen, and show our players that we love them. There's little things that we can do. We don't have the big pot of money that some schools have. But like I say, we got FAMU and we have our orange and green. And we're going to build up to have some things to attract some other things.
Name the 5 players and teams that you say is in Pro Bowl.
Oh,
And I look at
hold on. Y'all know what that means. It's Mary Hadley, a grand round, $1,000. Thank you. Thank you. I answered your question. She said, "Come on, answer her question." She gave it. Guess what? Next meeting, you get the first question. The 5 players we have in the NFL are Marquise Bell is with the Dallas Cowboys.
And give that number. Somebody told me the number. But
He wears number 14 now. Okay, Marquise Bell. Xavier Smith is with the Los Angeles Rams. He's number 19, just like he was at FAMU. Number 19, like our AD, like our head coach. 19. Yeah. Isaiah Land is with the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, 55. Terrell Jennings is with the New England Patriots, and receiver Marcus Riley is on injured reserve, but he's with the Jets, correct? Yeah. So we got 5 in the big leagues.
Kendall Bowler will be there next.
And they're waiting on Kendall Bowler. They're waiting on it. Kendall's been doing a great job, and he's playing good ball. So that's one thing that we have. Trust me, those guys are recruiting tools. Every time they suit up on Sunday or Monday night or Thursday night, they're not forgetting him, Dr. Jackson, because she don't miss pro football. She don't miss a game. She made poor Clayton write out all the games where they are, we can watch them on TV. So he emails it to us, so she loves pro football. All right now we will announce our, go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Xavier was on Sunday, and he ran back a couple days. I thought he was gonna break one time, but they ran him out of bounds.
He's gonna break one. Xavier's gonna break one. He's shown what they like to see. When you give a young guy, underrated guy a chance, and they make the most out of it. I expect Xavier to break a touchdown this year. Our MVPs versus Prairie View. Offensive MVP goes to Kobe Gross. Tight end. And these guys are in class where they're supposed to be. Jamil Sanders, defensive MVP.
Second one.
That's his second one. And Jerome Nichols, special teams MVP. Make sure we take care of those getting the coach. All right, Steve Campbell, I see you keeping order in the chat. Thank you for that. So for you all online, thank you very much for your diligence in watching us and supporting us online. It helps our reach, and you all are very important in helping us get this message out that we want to be the first HBCU to present their athletic department with $1 million to end the year and begin the next year in a positive manner. We will see you all Saturday at 1 p.m. kickoff.
Gates open at 11.
Gates open at 11.
Open at 8.
HBCU, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I brought them back to you. Oh, that is right. Somebody has some checks. Oh, come on up. Thanks, Al.
And on HBCU Go. HBCU Go.
And for those at home that want to watch the game, it's on HBCU Go if you can't make it, but we would really like to see you in Bragg Stadium.
Tell them to download the app so you can get on there.
Thank you, Bob. I have a check from Vernon James for $100. And I'm sorry. I also have a check for James Austin for $100. And John and Sharon Leonard from Atlanta, $300. And an unknown person that didn't want to know, they wanted to tell his name for $1,000. All right. Thank you so much, Vaughn. All right.
I see the name. Yeah, if you, that's the second or third check. They're like, here's the money, but don't say, I trust us. We will not keep your name as anonymous as you like. As long as you sign your name on the bottom line, we don't have to tell anybody. You know, some of y'all pastors might be watching, you know? We don't want to get y'all in trouble. All right, anything else for the good of the order, Ms. CEO?
Sorry, just one question. Are we completely out of
No.
possibility?
The question is, are we completely out of running for the SWAC? No, this season, absolutely not. We got to keep playing. We absolutely, every game matters. We have to continue playing. We can only, not even worry about what everybody else does. The first thing we got to do is take care of FAMU. Because if we don't take care of FAMU, we certainly out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, did you mention about the 20 quarterback club shirts? The sound sheet.
The shirts, we have some forms here for the polo shirts. And if you're online and you received it online, we will send that back out online as well. We were very happy to start getting mail in. We got checks in, we got shirt orders, and so our system is starting to work so that people who are out of town can connect with us. We're very excited about that, to see mail started coming in from those letters. Anybody else that needs any more letters to send out to people, to get them to send the donations, snail mail is all right with us. But yes, if you need a t-shirt, a polo shirt, see us afterwards. We have order forms here somewhere. Just give us a second and meet us back at the back table and we will get you set. And what we're gonna do for the people online, we ask for your phone number. We're just gonna check, double check. Because somebody put large or extra large. What does that mean? That means if I pick large and it don't work out, you're gonna be mad at me. So we're gonna call you to specify to make sure that this shirt or this shirt you got. We almost already called them. Yeah, we just want to be sure before we do the order that we don't have any pushback on those. About 2 weeks from when we take in the orders. So we take it in this week, so probably for about 2 weeks from then. Yes, ma'am. All right, Rattlers. Once again, Real Words Apparel is in the back. He's got licensed gear. He's got the shirt that the Rattlers are going to warm up in on Saturday before they take care of the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils. And we will see everyone at the game on Saturday. Don't forget, Florida Classic is the following week. And we'll see you later.
I need two letters. I had a guy gonna give me a D, he's gonna give me a check Saturday, hopefully.